Welcome to the rustic municipality of Badoc in Ilocos Norte. Badoc is one of the 21 municipalities located in province of Ilocos Norte. It is often called the gateway to the north and believed that it is the southmost municipality before the town of Sinait in the province of Ilocos Sur. Ilocos Norte is filled with so many attractions that draw visitors from every corner of the country. One of its characteristics is the old architecture of St. John the Baptist Parish Church that also holds the Virgen Milagrosa, one that many pilgrims consider to be a miracle. The 200-year-old Basilica Minor of St. John the Baptist, where the Virgen Milagrosa de Badoc is currently enshrined, became the 48th of its kind that was granted with privileges, obligations, and conditions as a minor basilica. Barely a few months after the May 31, 2018 pontifical coronation of La Virgen Milagrosa de Badoc with the infant Jesus, thousands of pilgrims and devotees continue to visit the church, believed to have been chosen as the sanctuary of the miraculous image of the Blessed Mother. Built in the 17th century, the Badoc Church is among the 11 Filipino Hispanic Baroque churches in Ilocos Norte, and was built in a parish church in 1740, with it was separated from the parish of St. Nicholas of Tolentino, now also a basilica in Sinait. In November 2018, the elevation of the church to a basilica minor was announced. The church has held the miraculous image of La Virgen Milagrosa de Badoc, which has been worshipped by followers for generations since 1620. The life-size statue was discovered in Nagasaki, Japan, according to the tale. It is supposed to have been given to the sea by Christians in Japan who were hiding from the Tokugawa administration, along with the miraculous statue of Christ of the Black Nazarene. The statues wash up on the shores of Baguetpet on the border of Sinait and Badoc. Around 1620, the statue of Mary arrived in Badoc and the statue of Christ arrived in Sinait. As a legacy from the past, the Badoc Church heritage assets includes historical structures, as well as their collections and intangible components, provide the local community with a feeling of place, identity, and aesthetic well-being. These historical assets have always been and will continue to be vulnerable to environmental interactions. Climate change is a further significant threat since it accelerates the projected decay rates and causes the emergence of a new decay phenomena. This is due to how climate change may impact the structure of the church and content of impacted materials, aggravating the physical, chemical, and biological mechanisms causing degradation. The Badoc Catholic Church stands today as a living monument of the Diantic task of Spain in spreading Christianity in the town and in the province of Ilocos Norte. It has suffered several major tragedies through the years. A cyclone in 1913 removed its tiled roof, which was replaced with a galvanized iron roof completed in 1930. The whole church was gravely damaged during the powerful earthquake of 1931, except for the presbytery where the image of the Virgin and St. John the Baptist were enshrined. The Japanese soldiers during the occupation of Badoc burned the whole town but spared the church where many people sought refuge during the conflagration. The more than 2-century-old edifice has undergone several repairs and improvements since then. This included the complete replacement of the galvanized iron roof and rafters, the putting up of a ceiling over the sanctuary, the changing of the worn-out brick flooring of the entire church with a cemented one, and the plastering of all the interior walls of the church. Here is the 3 major problems due to climate change issues encountered by the church. Corrosion. Increased precipitation can cause surface corrosion of stone masonry buildings, particularly in warmer areas. Longer durations of wetness increase relative humidity and moistures within materials. which when combined with rising temperatures create optimal conditions for diverse biological activity. The Church of Badoc has parts with corrosions, especially in the metal materials in the church. It can be seen in the parts of the church itself. This is one of the problems facing the church back then. Many methods were made to eliminate or prevent corrosions in church parts. Because of this, the church was alarmed at the spread of corrosion on metallic objects in the church because of the changing climate caused by the climate change. The solution they applied is a corrosion inhibitor or anti-corrosive is a chemical compound that, when added to a liquid or gas, decrease the corrosion rate of a material, typical a metal or an alloy, that comes into contact with the fluid. The effectiveness of corrosion inhibitor depends on fluid composition, quantity of water, and flow regime. Corrosions inhibitors are common in industry and also found in over-the-counter products, typically in spray form in combination with lubricant and sometimes a penetrating oil. This method is so effective that the officials of the church is using it in present. Salt crystallization cycle. Soluble salt can dissolve and recrystallize with change in temperature and humidity, creating salt crystallization cycles. Some salts can change their structure during their hydration and dehydration cycle. Salt damage, sometimes referred to as weathering, affects porous building materials such as limestone, sandstone, concrete, and brick, common materials of old buildings, especially the churches. This effect occurs when salt crystallizes inside the building material's pores and generates enough force to cause it to break or crumble. The church encounters this issue in any parts of the church, especially the walls of the church. We can see the damage caused by the salt crystallization in the walls of the church. The solution the church is using is controlling the ingress of salt and water, removing any damaging salts already present, desalination, modifying the environmental conditions to reduce damaging cycles from any remaining salts, and or using materials known to be less vulnerable to salt attack, but preventing and treating deterioration problems caused by soluble salt are difficult tasks, and solutions vary widely depending on individual circumstances. What might be effective in one building may be wholly inadequate somewhere else depending on the source of moisture, the nature and the salt, and the type of building. The effectiveness of this solution in the church is great because it preventing the walls to crumble. Earthquake. Badoc Catholic Church stands today as a living monument of the gigantic task of Spain in spreading Christianity in the town. It had suffered several major tragedies through the years. The whole church was gravely damaged during the powerful earthquake in 1931, except for the presbytery where the image of the Virgin and Saint John the Baptist were enshrined. The damaged walls of the church due to the earthquake were not restored due to the lack of knowledge on how to restore the walls to their previous postures. All they did was replace it with a concrete wall so that it could be finished faster and the church could use it immediately.
Our past shapes our future. Who we are today and what we've accomplished are results of our culture and heritage that have been shaped from generations and have been passed down to us. It is now upon to us to preserve our heritage. At present, the Badoc Church is completely conserved, preserved, and very active. That's all. Thank you.